Okay guys, in this tutorial I'm going to teach you how to connect from an RDS instance to your local workbench from your workbench on your local computer. Let's get started. So I'm here in my AWS console and I'm going to just make an RDS instance quickly so you could just follow me end to end. No differences. I'm going to continue without accepting. Let's go and make a new database. MySQL. We're gonna go with the free tier. We're gonna click the self-managed option. I'm not going to use Secrets Manager for my password, even though they advertise it's more secure. Let's just make an easy password. Don't forget this or else it'll be really annoying. Now, our instance has to run on computers, so I'm going to pick the one that comes with you only get we're using free tier, so we got to pick the smallest one. We're not going to mess with that. Storage, we're going to just pick the smallest one. Again, not going to mess with it. We don't need to connect to a compute instance. We're going to just expose this to the internet. You might use the EC2 instance. It's another way to go about it, but I won't cover that here. We'll go with the default VPC, or even we can create a new VPC if we wish. So the DB subnet group, we're going to create a new one. We want this to be publicly accessible so that we can actually connect to it from our workbench. We're going to create a new VPC security group so that we can modify the inbound and outbound rules, which define which devices from which IP addresses will it allow, using certain protocols will allow the connectivity to this RDS instance. We'll call the security group name, let's just call it SG1, availability zone, and no preference. I'm not going to use an RDS proxy. We'll just leave the certificate authority default. This expires in 2061. I'm going to delete this by the end of the night. Tags, I'm not going to mess with tags. Password authentication. I'm going to go using the database passwords. This is the estimated monthly cost. You do not get charged this up front unless as long as you delete the instance after you finish this tutorial. You'll only get charged a couple cents. This is if you keep this for the whole month, so don't just make this and forget about it, guys. Otherwise, you will be charged all this money. So just make sure whenever you create resources, you delete them after. It won't let me make a password this week, so I'll just make another one. Can't contain these symbols, so we're gonna go okay, now this database is creating, and that'll probably take about 5 minutes. 3 to 5 minutes. I'm not going to use this. So it's creating. That'll take 3 to 5 minutes, guys, so we can chill. Okay, once that's made, as you can see, successfully created. If we go to databases, it's backing up, but it said it's successfully created, so we can just continue. It shows 0 connections, but we're going to connect to it. Now we need to do one more step before we connect to it, or else you won't be able to connect. We need to go to security groups. This is the easiest way for you guys to access it. This is the security group associated with our RDS instance. Click the checkbox. Scroll up. Go to inbound rules. Now this is important. We're going to edit the inbound rules here, guys. So, actually, wait, I want to go back. We want to edit this inbound rule. Make sure you're editing the correct one. Now, the thing we want to make sure is, see, we want to edit the type of connection that our RDS server can accept. So just for simplicity, right now it's currently set to MySQL/Aurora. I'm going to just set it to all TCP connections. And the source can be from anywhere. That's a big deal. That's just for simplicity. You can choose my IP, but for simplicity, I'm just going to make it anywhere. And we're going to just make it all because we're just doing this for learning purposes. You wouldn't do this in the company. This is for learning purposes. Let's save the rule. And now we are ready to connect to our RDS instance. Open MySQL Workbench. We're going to log in. We're going to create a new connection. We'll just call this connection to our RDS. Next, host name. We simply copy it from here. This is the given endpoint for our RDS instance. Click copy. Run RDS databases, database 1. Copy the endpoint. Paste that. It listens on port 3306 like all other SQL servers. If you want to confirm that, I'm sure that's somewhere here in configuration. I'm sure that's here. Yeah, port 3306. It was right there under the endpoint. Now we got to change this to admin. Remember, guys, when we were setting up the SQL Server configuration, our master username is admin, and you got to put the password you made. I hope you didn't forget it by now. Okay, let's just store it in the vault. Test our connection, and well done. We have successfully connected to our Amazon Cloud RDS instance. Well done, guys. We have our new connection, and we can do whatever we want now. Thank you, guys. That is connecting to an RDS instance from your local machine's workbench in MySQL. I hope you learned something. Thank you, and please subscribe.